Okay.
And there we go. We're recording now.
Beautiful.
So
Okay.
I will send it to you as well. So Mari, if you don't mind, let's go ahead and have you jump in.
Okay. I will now share my screen. Belong. Okay. It tells me that you now see this. Do you all see it?
Yes.
Correct.
Perfect. So these are the regular X-rays, but this is one of the CT. The software allows you to double-click a CT and will open an internal 3D viewer, which allows you to play with the actual image. You have the actual, sagittal, coronal. You can move the pattern and then put the zone you want.
And is this the module that we talked about this morning?
That is correct. Yes, this is the module.
Okay. Okay.
So hey, Mari, if you will, can you go back and just kind of walk through on how they would import that image?
Yes, absolutely. When you want to import a CT image, a 3D image, you have to go to File, and you have a choice, Import CT Images. Every CT image is always within a folder of itself with a lot of numbers. If you've seen one before, I'll show you. Here. Oops, I'm on my machine. Sorry. Let me. Those folders are CT folders. You see stuff between brackets. And when you get in, there will be DCT00 files that goes from 0 to sometimes 300, 250, 400. That's what it takes to compose a 3D image. So as soon as you select one, it asks you, do you want to select the complete set? We go, yes. And import. It will do the stuff. It will bring you that little stamp here.
So we have what's called a image library, and it's all the images of your patient, intraoral camera, pan, X-ray, and the CT images will pop in there as well.
And this is in the module, but this is not in Open Dental, correct?
That is correct.
Sure. This is the new one I just imported.
Right. So what you were seeing there, Cheryl, that was our desktop for Polaroid DS.
Okay.
And again, I apologize, but since we're starting backwards, that you were lacking some of that information.
That's okay.
Now, one thing that is required on your side, doctor, is a good graphics card. Basically probably a separate video card that is 1 gigabyte or larger capacity to be able to view the 3D images correctly and quickly.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's going to lag, just so you know.
Okay.
So you saw how he was able to slide through, so you can see the different layers, right?
Yes. And so this is what basically, if I'm just like understanding correctly, this is actually this is able to be on the TV monitor that is at the 6 o'clock in the room, 6 o'clock, like in with the patient chair, for them to be able to look at. Okay.
Yes, that's exactly. So here, what you're seeing here is the Polaroid DDS desktop. So,
okay.
So right there, where Maria has the mouse, that would be the CT files. You can see they are labeled CT files versus the other images. And like Bob said earlier, that is our main library where everything comes into. Does that make sense?
So yes, it does. So then when so let's say like the sensor, well, actually I'll just wait until you're done and then I'll ask questions. Keep going.
No, that's okay.
We'll get through the 3D part. Do you have any questions about how the 3D module would interact with your current imaging software?
I do not. I think that this has already been answered. So there's no way for any of these files to then be bridged to Open Dental to be put into, like, say this is ortho. So we've done this for an ortho patient. So now I have like their ortho file under images in Open Dental. I'm not able to move it into that file, correct?
Yes, you can. You can export with just a few clicks any image into any other program. Now, if you want, now Open Dental does have the capability to create a two-way bridge to our software. Right now they created just a simple bridge, but we've given them all the documentation to create a two-way bridge, which basically would allow when you take an X-ray or an image, anything, it would allow that image to then go into the patient chart of Open Dental. So when you're in the patient chart, you can see a thumbnail of those images. That is something that needs to be done by Open Dental.
Which means there's some weird like voting thing that you have to do in Open Dental to get stuff like this done. It's super weird.
Yeah, it takes requests. You know, the squeaky wheel gets oiled, and the more requests they have for it, the sooner they'll put resources to do it. It's about 2 weeks of programming time and maybe another week of beta testing. We do have some other practice management companies that are currently doing that with our product, setting up the two-way integration. It seems to be the way that most people want to start doing things nowadays. The main thing is it makes it easier for insurance submission more than anything else.
Right. Yes.
Instead of having to go through the chart, then go open up the imaging program, export the image or import it back and forth. They can just click on the thumbnail in the chart and then send that directly to for the claims.
Yes,
and
that would be a game changer.
Yeah, so that's how most of the practice management companies are heading. We've given them all the documentation to do that. It's just on them what their programming time and resources are to make that happen. I know they just created a cloud version, and right now all their support time is going to getting that stable and getting that off the ground.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm good at being a squeaky wheel.
There you go. I mean, that's what it takes. It takes their users to start asking for it. I mean, I have mentioned it to them, to their team, and they've taken note of it. But the more people out in the field start asking for it, just the sooner they're going to do it.
I think that the push with the app trucks kind of phasing it over to the cloud is causing a lot of, it's everybody's problem.
Oh yeah. The Aptrix going away, or making people, forcing them into the cloud. People aren't happy with it. And the cloud version is a very, very simple version. It doesn't have half the features that the server-based programs have, and people just aren't happy with it. So we're doing a ton of Apteryx conversions right now.
Yeah, I think everybody's nervous about the cloud and the images, and then just the unknown, right? Like nobody knows how much it's going to cost, and then you're kind of held hostage once you start if you decide you don't want to do it because you've already got all these images over there. So the whole thing is like, it's upset the whole world.
You stop making payments and you're cut off,
Right. Yeah.
Or the internet goes down and you don't have any way of uploading or downloading images.
Right, which is, I mean, unfortunately, that happens more times than I would like it not to. I think the more dependent we are on it, the more the pain point of it going down is greater and greater. So,
yep. Yeah, and one thing HIPAA requires is that where your images are stored. And a lot of people, when they have a cloud program, it's like, well, I don't know where they're stored. They're in the cloud somewhere. Yeah, they're at a server farm somewhere. Not sure where it's at, but yeah, that's if there's any other questions you have, I'm taking the Mario's time here. If there's any questions you have about the 3D module, it's basically designed for show and tell, case presentation. So you can kind of show a patient, what's going on, or say they have an abscess that doesn't show up on a regular X-ray. It shows up on the 3D. You can show it to them, things like that, without having to go through your 3D imaging software, which is usually a little more difficult to use.
Yes, no, I don't think I have any questions. I am good.
Okay.
Is
Yeah, the more-
is that what you were looking for? Was that enough for what you guys were looking for, Cheryl?
I think so. Hearing you say the two-way bridge into open dental, like I think that's like the icing on the cake, right? Because ultimately, because we're a heavy ortho office, and I think I had mentioned to you earlier, our problem is that we just have our intraoral camera and our sensors do put well with Aptex currently, but they are kind of in open dental. But with this the 3D imaging is a huge part of it, that is just this whole separate files that are on a different computer, and we can't get them in front of the patient because they're on that server, and then only the doctor's computer. I think we only have like 2 computers that we can actually see those on. So this does allow us to get it in, and then if we could just copy it into the patient's chart, it, like you said, with the little thumbnails, that would just be that would be amazing.
Yeah. Now, we do also have DFO and ortho tracing options as well. We have modules on that if you're interested.
And I believe I had
Yeah.
mentioned that earlier. Mari, is that
Yeah,
something
we
we can
would-
show her? We can show her fairly quick.
Yes, let me see if it's installed in this version. Okay.
Ortho tracing, when you say the word tracing, that's not, I don't recognize that in the verbiage that we're using it in. What does that look like?
That's when
Well,
when they're drawing out, I guess, tracing out the plan, the treatment plan.
So like creating it kind of?
Yes, I think you're going to recognize it when Mark pulls it up here in a second.
Okay.
So when you say predominantly ortho, you guys are
Not
general
predominantly heavy ortho.
heavy.
We do everything. Our doctor does it all. We do wisdom teeth extractions. We do all on X cases. We do implants, but we have a very heavy ortho department. We have a lot of patients that are in traditional wires as well as aligners. So
Got it.
okay.
it's actually probably what we're talking about right now is one of the biggest pain points in ortho, is just records are kind of everywhere, because we don't have a good way of organizing and getting them all together in one place. So say we want to look back at a case, we had a patient that was in phase 1 ortho, and then they've been out for 2 years, and now they're going to do phase 2. And so now we're trying to like pull their images, like their CT or their 3D that we have. And it's just, it's like hunting down a needle in a haystack sometimes, I feel like, because maybe it didn't get labeled, so it was taken on the machine, but somebody didn't put like the patient name on it. So then it's like you're just looking at every image trying to find it, just things like that create headaches. If everything was done perfectly and correctly the first time, then we wouldn't have any issues, but that doesn't happen. So
So that's the DFO module. And you have all those analysis. I cannot click the point because I don't know them.
Oh,
Hello?
yeah. I understand.
Yeah, you really have to be an ortho to use this. In my case, I'm like, oops, I don't know what to do from here.
no,
But those
okay.
are all the choices.
So basically it's pre-programmed to give you the cuts that you would need for ortho.
In a way, yes. You see, you even have an analyze editor that you can go change the point.
Mm-hmm.
It goes very deep. We have one person here who knows how to use this, and he said, this is unbelievable.
So
No, I don't
so
know.
there's a DFO ortho tracing program, and then there's an analysis program.
Yeah. You have here. You can even print the analysis. There it is. Analyze editor. You can import analysis from other softwares or other places. We got some in here that came from the universities. I don't see it in here. Yeah, this is the main one when you order.
Okay, so when you say import in, I'm not the person that's doing this, but just I'm probably not. I'm barely speaking about the knowledge of what I have on this, but like if we are working in like Blue Sky to create our aligners, is that like where, like what is the analysis? What is the analysis giving you? Is it telling you the movement of the teeth? So this is the phases that we're going to go through. It's going to be like 2 years, and we're going to do this much movement with this much millimeters, and we're going to do this and that. Like what does that analysis give me?
Actually, it's really hard to explain. You would need the guy who knows about this. But
okay,
you see, this is one that's done by the University of Montreal. So once someone does a analysis, they can save it as a DAN.
Okay.
And then Caddy can open this, and poof, you now have a new one, UDM. Me,
Okay.
I don't know what it does, but I know that you can import analysis from other people and other companies. Because these are all analysis created by these companies. Steiner, Sesame, McGann, McLaughlin.
Mario, would
Yes.
you mind, on your website, would you mind going to the DFO page section on the website?
Good point. Very good idea.
That kind of shows some of how it works.
You go here.
And Dr. Caddy is the name that DDS is sold as in Canada.
Okay.
So in Canada, it's sold as Caddy. In the US, it's Polaroid DDS. In other parts of the world, it has different names. It's all the same software.
It's called Media Dent.
Yep.
I remember we had talked about that show.
Yes.
Oh, DFO module. Wow. I don't think they have training yet on this. There's only that little module here. Because we do have training for the software. Whatever it's called, it's the same thing. You can use all these to find out what to do.
Okay.
In here, global library, any DFO.
Maybe under additional modules.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Whitening. Yeah, only the cosmetic. They don't show the DFO. It's really a side thing. We don't
more of a specialty thing.
Too specialized.
Yeah.
We sell a lot more of cosmetic for people doing whitening and the diastema and stuff like that.
But this is something we
So
can.
is that where you just showed? That would be like if we were doing veneers, we would take like the picture, their picture, and then we can create what the veneers are going to look like once
exactly
we
right.
get to the other end.
Exactly.
Okay,
You could have an assistant go through, and in about 60 seconds can go through and do lengthening, remove gum, do closed diastemas in about a minute or so, and then if you apply a whitening to their teeth, and that takes about 20 seconds. It's very quick and fast, and it comes with the software. So it's a module that's built into it that's very popular.
very cool.
The whole thing about
I'm going
DDS
fast
is
now, but
that's okay. Yeah. DDS is designed to allow you to close more cases. That's a unique thing that's different, that separates us from the other software. Most of the other softwares are like a glorified view box, X-ray view box. Our product is designed does all that as well, but it's also designed to help you close more cases.
Okay. That's good. Closing cases is good.
Yeah.
So it makes the whole world of dentistry go around.
So all these features are just built into it. So there's actually a return on investment on our software, unlike most others.
Okay.
So that's my sales pitch. I'll be quiet now. But
no, you're Bob. You're doing good. You're doing good.
But you can see he just went through and quickly just whitened the teeth and got them to a natural looking shade color. It's just very quick. Everything in DDS is pretty much done with one button. Where other softwares, you click a button and a drop down menu opens up. Or if you want to see a bite wing series, you click on it and a whole menu opens up. You got to pick the right date. Our product pretty much is done just with a single press of a button.
And then if I wanted to at this point take this picture and save it in a thumbnail or under imaging in Open Dental, we can do that. We just can't go the other way yet.
You would just click on it and you would hit export.
Okay.
And
it would go directly into the patient. How is it bridged to that patient's chart? I think is my question.
You would export it into your computer via email or just to the desktop somewhere, and then you would have to, because it's a separate process, then you would have to go to Open Dental and then import that into the patient chart via Open Dental. So that you would have to do that part manually at this point.
Okay, so that's pretty labor. Well, like that's bulky. So the reality is that probably isn't going to happen.
Yeah, so we can export it to a folder on the desktop, and then it can be imported from that folder into Open Dental.
Okay.
And you see, I've whitened the teeth. You want to show the patient, you have before and after button. Poof. It sees what it at the moment, what it looks after.
All part of that.
Great.
All part of that. You can print presentation mode.
Oh, that's the cosmetic one.
Okay.
There's a little smile thing. Anything else from me?
I think you're done. Thank you so much.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Don't forget, if I stop sharing my screen, I don't know what they'll see now.
No worries. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's stopped.
No, yep.
Alex can take over now.
Yep.
So I'll leave you all. You're very welcome.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
So back here. So again, we're back over here. So one of the things that I like, see up here, we have the 4 different blocks where we can have up to 4 different x-rays. Let's say if we're looking at different things, and I can click on any of these. So the conversation, so whatever conversation I'm having with the patient, then I can select it there. I can change
just the specific ones that we're talking about.
Pardon me?
Just the specific x-rays that we're talking about. Sort of like this. That's a lot of filling. We want to.
That's exactly right. Yes, and I just grab some random ones from here from my whole ad, right? I can change that view to be from.
Normally the orientation would be correct.
Correct, right.
These are just sample dummy images that were dropped into the blanks.
Yes, I dropped them
the
in
spaces.
Right. So I can change that from a 4 view to a 3. To in the case when you guys are doing ortho, there's your pan and your ceph.
We also have a ortho template for when you're using like a intraoral camera or a digital camera. That basically you can just pop all your digital images if you're doing like the standard 9 shots or whatever you're doing for ortho, whatever you guys do.
And then if I can double click on any image here, okay, blow it up, and I can select between here. Okay, you can get back out of there. Another thing that I really like, and a lot of people seem to like about this, is the filters. Oh gosh, where are my filters at?
All filter button.
Nope.
The A.
There you go. So now you can see that one tooth, depending on what you're looking for, what the doctor's looking for, whether it's soft tissue, hard tissue, and whatever, he can select here between any of the multiple filters. He can select by starring his favorites. Now we can also set it up to where all images are going to look a certain way.
If there's a certain look that you guys, well, basically the way the filter system works is that, say you have an X-ray and it doesn't quite show you what you think what you're trying to find, you hit the all filter button and 6 or 8 images, however you have it set up, will pop up on the screen. And if those it don't give you the information you need, you hit the right arrow and 6 more or 8 more pop up. And these are the most popular filters that people use. And one of those filters will most likely show you the information, give you the data you're looking for. And if there's a particular filter that you guys seem to go to a lot, we can just program that to be your default filter. So all your images have that same look and feel.
Exactly. So down here on the right, on the bottom right, you can set it as default. You can apply this to this image, or again, you can take it however you want.
Okay.
But it's a simple function. You just hit the A button, which is the all filter button, and they just pop up there. And then you can kind of see what one gives you the best information.
Okay.
Okay. We have something similar to that. I think with the sensors that we have, it just does it like, I mean, just as an upright, as soon as it's taken, we can put a filter on it if we need to. I mean, the ideal is that we don't, but if we do need to,
sure.
The ideal is
That's
obviously making a good X-ray, and not dependent on the filter to create the good X-ray, but definitely, I'm familiar with it. We do this a couple of times sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah, and sometimes you have an image that's maybe lightly underexposed or overexposed, and you just hit that all filter button, and you'll find a filter that'll clean it right up.
Yep. You can right click and zoom in. If you have a scrolling wheel, you can zoom in and out. Okay. And again, you can change the darkness contrast. Another thing, if you notice here, I have 3 different buttons for different X-rays. So like, let's say in your case, right now you just bought, what is it? I think your Denmed X-rays. We can send them up here. If you had different brands, let's say in the future, as you're adding, you'll be buying Polaroid X-rays, of course. We can set them up and we can label them. So versus some of the other softwares that you have to go back into the settings to choose the different X-ray you're using, you just basically a shortcut button here. Okay, so once you click in there, now here you're in the X-ray mode. So now you have an option of doing your FMX or doing a single shot. So depending here on the template you want to select. So in this case, I have selected 4 bite rooms, right? But I can do.
You can create anything that you want.
Here's 7. I can do a whole FMX. Now, something that I get asked a lot. So okay, let's say you're doing just the 4 bite rooms, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. But you happen to see another tooth that all of a sudden you need an X-ray. Well, you can just select wherever you want, whatever that tooth number is, and take the X-ray there. And when you exit, it'll populate into your template here. Again, these are just some images that I've thrown in there. Okay. I believe it's this one here.
If you want to see the history of an image.
Okay, right. So like right here that this is highlighted. See how when I hover over it, there's little arrows. So if I press and hold is it the right button?
Yep.
No. Why are they not coming out, Bob? Is it
Not sure.
Then again, my computer has been acting up, and that's why we couldn't load the other module. But when you press and hold this button here, oh, there you go. You see that? Now, these are different X-rays, but again, I just threw some in there. But here, you would see the history of the different X-rays throughout the years, months, whatever it has been.
It'll be that particular tooth in chronological order.
Okay, excellent.
So that's a nice little feature there.
And if you wanted to see, if you want, you could put grab 4 of those, put them up on the screen, and see all 4 and see a progression between the 4 images.
Exactly.
Beautiful. That would be nice.
Yeah. And again, I use the 4. I like the 4, but again, you can use up to.
You can have 1 big image. You can have 4. You can have 5. You can have 4 with a pan. our screens are totally customizable. So however you use it. So if you have a pen in the office, we can create a window. So when the full mouse series comes up, there'll be a section for pan images as well. And then you could just do the same thing, just put the mouse on it, hover over it, and all the previous pans will tile out, just like the X-ray did there.
Okay.
And you have a variety of shortcuts here on the left. Your image library here. One of the big things about the image library, because of HIPAA laws, you really can't use, let's say, somebody else's X-ray to show because of the information, the patient's information there. Here, you can create your library, patient education, where we remove all the patient information. It's just the images that you're showing. So whether you have X-rays, intraoral images, you can have, and you can separate them by however you want.
Say you did a nice case, you know, an ortho case or a veneer case or something. You can ask the patient, can we use your pictures? And if they say yes, you go through, you mark it, you select those images, it removes all the patient information and it puts them in a separate library. Now you can create your own before and after library of images that you've created. In the past, people used to buy libraries from David Hornbrook, Ross Nash, you know, and pay them thousands of dollars, but they can never recreate, you know, the quality of the smile or the work. This way, you can keep a running history of your own before and afters, and use that to help. You know, someone has a similar case, you can show them the other work you've done, and it gives them confidence that you can do that work.
Very nice. We do not do that currently, so that's something that's on the to-do someday list. So that would be nice.
Okay, there you go.
And here you have, again, your different templates. So if you're doing your pan-ceph, there it is. If you're taking intraoral images, here you have selection for your images.
Go to the ortho. So that would be a setup for use with a digital camera. If you have a digital camera, you can bring up this template, take the images.
We actually just use an iPhone now. We bought 2 iPhones because the cameras are so good on them, and I have some bridge that literally you take a picture on the phone and it just throws it into the patient's chart. It works beautifully.
There you go.
Okay, there you go. Yep. So, what am I missing, Bob?
That's pretty much it. That's all the basics. One thing we do not do, is that we do not have a list of like bite wings or FMXs for you to scroll through. All the images are on that one screen, on the main screen. They're always there. It's a little different look than what people are used to, but this is how one of the more popular features that people like in this program. It's with this version of our software, it's probably the most popular and fastest selling software in the world. And it's because of this layout. This is how they do things oftentimes in the medical industry. But because the when you open up the patient, when you open up the patient's images, you see the entire video or photographic history at a glance. You'll see the latest intraoral camera images. You'll see all the X-rays, and then if you wanted to see a bite wing series, you would just click on the 4 images, bring them up top, and you can view those separately.
Okay.
You can have a combination of X-rays and intraoral images up here,
Which is very nice because usually, I mean, if the tooth doesn't, the X-rays, we can tell what we can read the X-rays, but patients don't see the grossness of the tooth that was the intraoral picture.
There you go.
Exactly. And we do provide training for your team as well.
Okay. And then if we have a new assistant that onboards, that's not part of the training, is that something where I just say hey, I need you to hop on a phone call? They'll go over how to use it with you, or is it just the initial, and then after that, we need to train with it by ourselves in the office?
We provide ongoing training at no charge. There's no fee. It's all done remotely. The first year support is on us pretty much. The yearly support is $650 a year. We're doing a promotion where the first year's on us. And then after that, it's $650 a year. And that does include training, ongoing training and things like that as well. We will always hold your hand.
And then is there any upgrades at any point that we would need to like do upgrades to with the software?
So when you're on support, upgrades are free.
Okay, got it. That's right. Actually, I remember that. I actually see that right now.
Yeah.
Updates and support on that text. Okay.
And Bob, I did tell her we would give her the data transfer.
Okay.
So just FYI.
Not a problem.
Okay, I think I got a ton of good information here. I'm going to let Eric go through it and look at all of it. I think it'll make even more sense to him than it does to me, since
One thing else I think might help. We have 29 little short YouTube videos, how-to videos. They're all like 2 minutes to 5 minutes long on how do you do this, how you do that. We have them on a spreadsheet. If I'm not sure if Alex has been able to share that with you yet, but it's a good thing to look at. If you do have any questions, how does this program do this or that? There's probably a video on it that will quickly run you through how it works.
He's a video watching guy, so that'll be great.
There you go.
Did you get a chance to watch? Did you get a chance to watch the other video that I sent you?
I started to, but I did not finish it, so I do not know.
Okay, no, that's okay. But you still have it, so you'll be able to go through it.
Yes. So if I go from, and that will take me to all the other ones, right? Like normally, like how YouTube videos are linked, like these other 29 videos are all tied to this one.
Often, sometimes, but sometimes, a YouTube ad will pop in there or something.
Yeah.
We do have a spreadsheet that has a link to each video in case there's only certain ones you want to watch. You don't have to waste your time going through all of them.
Okay. If you want to send that over to me, I will put that in front of him. He learns. I mean, he's very much. He's definitely a YouTube guy, like learning stuff. So, being able to look at that would possibly answer questions that we wouldn't have to circle back around on, and he could just get the answer immediately.
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
Very good.
All right. Well, I thank you for your time and for all this information. I will put it all in front of him and then circle back with you guys if he has more questions or what next steps look like.
Okay.
Very good.
Sounds like a plan. Cheryl,
Have a good day, Doctor.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for making this all work today. I appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
You too. Goodbye.